You know what? I'm not going to do the dumb intro anymore. If you're listening to this channel, you know who I am. Okay, today's video is brought to you by a sale and a rant and a book that I read that was actually really good. First things first, the sale. Audible is doing a sale until the 8th of December, maybe just the 7th, so double check. I don't know if it applies for people who aren't Audible members, but basically they just discount a whole bunch of stuff way down. I've had books on my wish list that are like $2 and $3 right now. And I've got two books on Audible, Hero Next Door and Kill the Beast. They are like $9 and $3 respectively. And they're both professionally narrated. These aren't Village Voice books. These are like Michael Drugas did Hero Next Door and Jean-Michel Georges did the Kill the Beast. These are excellent productions, and they get part of the royalties if you buy one. I think that you should read them because I think everybody should read my books and tell me what they think about them. So if you were looking to get the audiobook for a low price, now's a great time to do it. I just spent like $35 on the sale, which is pretty restrained for me. They do these sales like once or twice a year, and I've definitely done more damage than that in the past when the income was slightly more disposable. So check that out. The rant is, you know what, I'm not even going to be diplomatic about this. This is stupid, and I don't care how big your IP is, it deserves to fail when you do stupid things like this. The news is that they are casting a black guy to play Snape in the Harry Potter TV show on HBO Max or whatever, the reboot or the remake that they're doing. And they're trotting out the same old stupid excuse and the same old stupid accusation. If you don't like it, you're a racist, blah, blah, blah. They're doing it for the same dumb reason that they always have. It's a dumb virtue signal. They're claiming that, well, we're going to be more inclusive or whatever. Like, Harry Potter was already inclusive. It had a broad swath of diversity in it that just came up naturally. As Derek Anderson said on his video, they're not going to open up to diversify the casting for characters like the Patil twins or Angelina Johnson or Dean Thomas or who's the other one? Cho Chang, Harry's first kiss. Like, it was already a diverse story. It just happened to take place in Britain, which is, hey, surprise, surprise, ethnically British. On top of that, there are massive complications with changing Snape to a black guy, especially when you consider that he's going to be competing with James Potter, a pureblood, for the affections of one Lily Evans. So what, is that going to be a race thing now? Is James going to be chasing Snape off because James is pureblood and we don't take kindly to your kind around here? Is he going to say, hey, get away from my girl, boy? My personal observation here is that, well, Lily and Severus grew up as friends, and then he started hanging out with the Death Eaters, and suddenly she wasn't so amenable to his ways because she didn't enjoy their cruelty. And in a moment of, we'll say, shame and humiliation for Snape, he got mad and lashed out at her and called her a mudblood, which is an in-world slur. How is that dynamic going to change when you also throw in this 2020 dumb race fight sensibility in there, all in the name of inclusion? It's the same crap that up until today, we'll say, was dying and on its way out. And they're going to turn around and revive this crap and just hamstring this production right before it gets out of the gate. J.K. Rowling has done stuff like this before. After the 7th book, she started throwing it out there that, like, oh yeah, actually Dumbledore was gay and maybe Hermione wasn't actually white. Like, it's done for stupid social points, and more people are hip to it now, and nobody wants this crap. And it's just going to take the whole production down into the dregs of 2010 wokeness. And I really, really freaking hoped that we were moving past that and just getting back to the greatness of art for its sake. Adapting something faithfully, especially when it's already got a proven track record of 25 to 30 years at this point of working as constituted. Rant over. Stop doing this dumb crap. All right, now that that's out of my system, the book I read today was A Christmas Story by Gene Shepard. This is the book that the classic movie A Christmas Story is based on, but it goes a little bit different than the movie. So Jean Shepherd, I gather, she was mainly a writer of short stories, and this book is a collection of a bunch of short stories that are all about the same character, Ralphie Parker. Ralphie Parker, right? Yeah, I mean, I know it's Ralphie. Anyway, it's interesting to see how the movie plays out versus how all these little stories play out, because pretty much all of them are in the movie, but the movie is an amalgamation of all the stories. Like, the story that starts up is like Ralph's an adult and he reflects back on Christmases of his youth and stuff, but other events as well. And the first big story is the one about getting the Red Ryder BB gun. He asks for it, he's told continually that he'll shoot his eye out. He gets it for Christmas and he shoots himself in the glasses. So the overall, like, the main bones of the Christmas Story movie are there. But then the next story is something else. It's just about growing up in this northern Indiana town. There's the story of the neighbor's dogs breaking into the house and stealing the Christmas ham. I guess it was an Easter ham in the book. There's the story of Ralphie just chimping out and beating the piss out of a bully that took a pick at him like one too many times. There's little things like that. They all come together, and the stories are very endearing. If you've seen the movie, you'll recognize, I'll say 85-90% of the stories in this book. So why would you read it? You would read it for the prose. Think about all the scenes in the Christmas Story movie where Ralphie, like adult Ralphie, is narrating. There's a very particular way that he talks, and he conjures up images with the specific word choices that he makes. The entire book is that. Like, all of the individual pieces are that. And it's very, very endearing. It's just very beautiful writing. I've always got an appreciation for beautiful writing. It's not purple prose. There are times when it's a little bit flowery, but it's easy to appreciate his poetic turns of phrase. I say his, meaning Ralphie's. It's Jean Shepherd's writing. I've never read anything else by her, I don't think. All of this was compiled into a book and turned into the audiobook in 2003. And if you get the audiobook from Audible, which, hey, there's a sale on right now, this one is done kind of like with maybe not like a full-on like Foley stage, but there are sound effects and new little musical interludes in the background and stuff that really enrich it and augment it and make it a more enjoyable experience. So it's short. It's like 3.5, maybe 4 hours total at regular speed. And it's performed tremendously well, and I can see myself listening to this every couple of years at Christmas. It wouldn't be an annual thing, but I really liked listening to this book. I was never a huge fan of A Christmas Story growing up, but it was one of those, there's one cable channel that they famously do, I think, a marathon on Christmas Eve, where they'll just play that movie for 24 hours straight. I remember my aunt telling me, like, she got a DVD of it when I was, I don't know, 13, 14. And I saw it, and it had the picture of, like, Ralphie with his goofy smile. And she's like, yeah, you would love it. And I just remember, like, being convinced based on the look of Ralphie on the cover that, like, no, he's a dork. I don't want to watch that movie. She said, no, it's a classic. You have to watch it. And it's like, I don't know if you guys know Graham very well, but the quickest way to get me to hate something until the end of time is to tell me that I have to like it. And so I became, like, very opposed to it. It's kind of the same thing that happened with me not wanting to read Harry Potter in my teens, because everybody told me that it was so great and that I had to read it. It's like, no, because you said had, I do not have to, and I will not. And I didn't until my 20s, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I read the whole series like 4 or 5 times at this point, probably 4. And I'm due to read it again, and I'm sharing it with my kids, and I love it. It's great. But don't tell me that I have to, because I'll dig those heels in. I'm beyond stubborn. Anyway, great book. Give it a shot if you liked the movie, even if you're unfamiliar with the movie. Give it a shot anyway, because, again, beautiful writing deserves to be appreciated for its own sake, and this one has it in spades. Content warning, it's actually on par with what's in the movie, so there's some profanity here and there, some blasphemous exclamations, some B words and S words and stuff. It's not prevalent or replete throughout the book, but it pops up from time to time. Again, on par with how regular it was in the script in the film. So check it out. That's it for today. Thanks everybody for listening. Subscribe to my Substack, crackerstack.substack.com. I've got an ongoing project over there where I'm breaking down the history of different Christmas carols every day. They're short. There's like 3 or 4 paragraphs per. And then I've got a link to my favorite arrangement of each individual carol that I'm covering for the day. I think you guys will like it. Till next time, drive safe. See you out there.